Marcia, our secretary, that it was probably Davine telling us that she didn't want all that fuss. Just a little bit of fuss is fine. So today we're here because we love her and we want to celebrate her and all of the impact that she had on our lives. And so, knowing that, let's just take a moment to turn within for some prayer. So we just know and recognize that there is only one life, one power, one love, one infinite presence that is truly all there is. And I know this one life is right here in this room. It is in our Zoom room. I know this one life is within each one of us at the very depths of our being. We are that divine life in expression, in beauty, in peace. And so as I know this, I speak my word for this celebration of life. And I speak my word for our Reverend Davine, knowing that she opens up and accepts all of the accolades she receives today. I know too that we open up and receive all of the love that she gave to us. I am so grateful to know that every moment of this service is absolutely perfect, that every one of us finds a healing and a blessing. I give thanks for all that's about to unfold, to be revealed. I give thanks for the infinite presence that is always right here, all the time. And I give thanks. I just give thanks, and I simply allow it to be as we anchor it together by saying, and so it is. Yes. Your presence here today honors her life and her memory, and our being gathered here today is a source of comfort to each one of us. Today, we celebrate her life. We remember the beauty and the grace that she brought to our lives and the joy that she found in living fully and the love she shared with all of us. Even though our hearts may be heavy because we miss her, we can be comforted in knowing that God, the universal presence, might have a bigger plan, one that we can't see with our human finite vision. Spirit is the very breath of the Creator. It's not limited to this fragile human experience, but it is an unlimited presence that expresses even beyond this life. Life is filled with continuous change. Even at this time of what we might call death, we can affirm and agree together that Reverend Davine Joy Young has ascended into a new and eternal life. We are here to celebrate her transition into a greater freedom, one that is beyond our human comprehension. I know that if she could hear us speaking, I know that if we could hear her speaking, she would say this: to those whom I love and those who love me, when I'm gone, release me, let me go. I have so many things to see and do. You mustn't tie yourself to me with too many tears, but be thankful we had so many good years. I give you my love, and you can only guess how much you've given me in happiness. Thank you for the love that you've shown, but now it's time I travel on alone. So grieve for me a while, if grieve you must, and then let your grief be comforted by trust. It is only for a time that we must part. So treasure the memories and keep them within your heart. I won't be far away, for life goes on. And if you need me, call, and I will come. Though you can't see or touch me, I will be near. And if you listen with your heart, you'll hear, all my love around you, soft and clear. And then when you come this way alone, I'll greet you with a smile and say, welcome home. Yes. In one of his classic writings, one of my favorite quotes of Dr. Ernest Holmes is in The Science of Mind, and it says, nature will not let us stay in any one place too long. She will let us stay just long enough to gather the experience necessary to the unfolding and advancement of the soul. Davine has gathered all of these experiences here on earth, and her soul has now advanced into a new dimension in the continuing stream of life. Even now, as we embrace her memory, I know that she's been set free from the human body that bound her to this earth. And now she lives in the joyful freedom, surrounded and filled by the light of God. Isn't it a blessing to know that? Absolutely. And now we're going to move into a time of sharing. And so there are a few people who we have scheduled to share about Reverend Davine. And so I would like to first call on her brother, Robbie.
Well, good day. My wife can't stand when I say this, but I always say, how you living? And I mean that sincerely. Most people, how are you? How you doing? It's more about how you being. So I ask, how you living? You know, my sister, she was a joy. She's always been a healer. You know, she started off wanting to do dentistry, and then spent the last almost 40 years working with the biggest ophthalmologists in the world. Talk about willingness to see. Um, I know a lot of you know this part of her, but I'll just share it. She was an incredible artist. From the time we were kids, she was making things that people were, teachers at the school and different professors were saying, where did this come from? I mean, she's an old soul. And it's very interesting. Her given name was Donna Hope Young. And she always disliked that name. And her and I were chatting. And it was very interesting because she said, I've never liked this name. This is why I decided to change my name to Divine Joy Young. And I think the part of her that she didn't recognize is, you change your name to bring joy into people's life, but the flip side of it was you brought hope. And that is the transformation. So what you're unwilling to be with always shows up with you. It is the bigger part of you, no matter where you try to hide. You can't, because your true essence will always find a way to express itself and let itself out. I'm really blessed. First of all, thank you for those who are here and for those who are in Zoom land tuning in. I know she touched a lot of hearts and she made a difference, though she was only here for a quick minute. Somebody asked, I think my sis Liz asked, somebody wanted to know if she had a famous or a favorite saying. And the one thing my sister and I always said to each other was, whoop, there it is. And it's kind of like, yeah, as a matter of fact, there it is. We also like sharing things like, no matter where you go, there you are. So we've always been in tune. Our journey, as far as our spiritual journey, both myself, my sister Davine, and my mom, Alyssa Yardley, started in like 79, 80. So we all grew together in the spiritual thing. And everybody took their own facets and their own lane to give and to educate. Um, Taking the healing parts and taking the giving parts and taking the artistic parts seem to just blend in our family. Because I've been an entertainer, also a national sports therapist, but I still teach from here and try to teach people that it's from the inside out, such as Davine always did. Um, I could sit and ramble on. I'm not going to, just because I don't want to go there. Um, as we were cleaning her place, I found some really incredible things that my sister wrote. And my wife found this the other day, and it's like, oh my God, it was like out of bounds. So, excuse me, I don't have my reading glasses on. Most of the time I just come from here. I'm not into mechanics. So I'm going to read a little bit of what she wrote. Can you hear me? Okay, cool. She says, so live your life that fear of death can never enter your heart. Trouble no one about their religion. Respect others in their view and demand that they respect yours. Love your life, perfect your life, beautify all things in your life. Seek to make your life long and its purpose in the service of other people. Prepare a noble death song for the day when you cross over to the great divide. Always give a word or a sign or a salute when meeting a passing friend or even a stranger. Show respect to all people, grovel to none. Right? When you arise in the morning, give thanks for the food and for the joy of living. If you see no reason for giving thanks, the fault lies only in yourself. Abuse no one and no things, for abuse turns the wise ones and fools and robs the spirit of vision. When it does come time for you to die, be not like those whose hearts are filled with fear of death, as that they seek to find more time. Don't weep and cry, and be like the others who ask for another day of living so that they could do their life different. Sing your song of death and die like a hero going home. With that said, if you would, I'd like you to just close your eyes for a moment. When you walk through the storm, holding your head up high, and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of a storm, there's a golden sun, and the sweet simple song of a lark. Walk on with the wind, walk on with the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on, with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone. Walk on, with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. No, you'll never walk. No, you'll never walk alone. Though she wasn't here for a long time, as she said, whoop, there it is. It was whoop, here I am. She hit it and quit it, made a difference, and I pray that you all take what she's given you and allow it to be a part of your life. It's very natural as human beings, because we're creatures of comfort, to fall back in our old ways just because it's familiar. I challenge you to challenge yourself, to step up and be the biggest part of who you can be. Nobody said it's going to be easy, but give yourself permission to be the biggest part of who you can be. There's no right or wrong. There's simply what is. And what is who I am and my willingness to express, to discover, experience, and express who I am. And with that said, Sissy, this is her, by the way. She is here with us. We love you. And my purpose for opening up the bag this way is that your joy and love can come through the opening. I thank you once again for your willingness to be here, to be a part. And she's always here. You know, I dream of her every night. We chat all the time. So, you know, when my sister and her wife, Liz, Reverend Liz, we're not even in California, I'd be taking my walks and I'd be busting up laughing. It's like, sis, if you were here, you'd be falling out. So they're always with you, however you choose to be. Just remember that. I shan't ramble anymore, okay? Well, bless you, and thank you very much for your willingness to be here and share the celebration of my sister, Reverend Davine Joy Young. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Our next sharing comes from Reverend Davine Joy Young's wife, Reverend Liz Luoma.
Yeah. There you go, Dee. Well, Reverend Robbie, who knew? But, you know, it is this spiritual family of you, and I didn't know you could sing. I mean, seriously, that was like, where did that come from? By the way, I'm sure Davine was enjoying that, so thank you. Just thank you for your tribute to her. And I didn't know how I was going to do this, and I don't have to know because Spirit carries us. And so last night I went to Applebee's because I'm like, I have got to put something on a piece of paper so I can look at it and see what it is that wants to be spoken on some level. So I started off with, okay, I don't know. Move the mic, baby. Oh, I have to move the mic. Minister goes, where's my, portable? I can stand still. Good luck with that. I start off with, okay, I don't really know what to say. And I'm super sad. And truthfully, I've been sad since Davine left Santa Fe last June to take the senior minister position here at Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont, which for Davine was totally awesome. And she really wanted to be a senior minister. And you folks here, you saw her, you got her. You saw what a beautiful, passionate, dedicated, caring, loving minister She was and continues to be of love and light. That's who she was and continues to be. So good for you, right? And I thank you. I thank Center for Spiritual Living and all of you folks for bringing Davine here to your beloved, sweet community and for making her dream and her intention in ministry to come true, even though it was a short time. I can't imagine your sadness when Davine began not feeling well and in such a short time released her body so her spirit could be free. I still find it hard to believe that she's really gone. Um, people say that she's still here and she's still with us, and uh, and with us and me. However, that doesn't really help me personally, who lived with Davine for 6 years. We moved 6 times in that 6 years. 4 of them were in Sacramento, but it was a thing. She was a mover and a groover. Right. And I miss her tremendously. I miss her smile. I miss her laughter. I miss her snarkiness. We often joked about she needed to go to Snarkers Anonymous. She needed to go to another meeting. I miss our walking together and holding hands, which we did so often. I miss watching her process and prepare for her services, to giving talks, being a staff minister, doing weddings, memorials, spiritual counseling, teaching classes. She was so loved and so passionate. She really put her heart 100% and more into everything she did as a minister and anything she did in life. Those of you who know her, she was passionate. Politics, boy, did she get up about it. She'd be the first to be ranting and raving about how these people could be doing what they're doing. And, she was very passionate. And she was also a professional, 100% a professional. The way she dressed, the way she brought herself forward. And some of you know that she was an optician for probably close to 40 years, and what she loved most was the eyeglass frame specialist that she was, a fashion designer, and really wanted to bring out the best in people through their glasses. And those who know Davine know that she always had the coolest, funkiest glasses ever. And I can't tell you, you know how many pairs you found, right? Right, and then the cases and everything else. But she would, it had to be funky, and that was her. She wanted to be unique and different and encouraged everybody to do the same. That was the next word in here. She is colorful and expressive and not afraid to be that way, and wanted others to be that. She didn't want to dim her light, and she was frustrated whenever she felt that she was having to dim her light. That was troublesome. And her hair, okay. You gotta know that curly red head, and she got so many compliments when we'd be out. I love the color of your hair. So she was expressive, she was artistic, colorful, and again, wanted everybody to do the same, not to be in a box, but be outside the box. And I appreciate those of you that wore more of the colors in honor of her colorfulness. And speaking of being creative, as Robbie said, she was a true artist in every single sense of the word. In her clothing, and I believe she was interested in being a fashion clothing designer in her 1920, not the year, but yes, Dee. Jewelry. She made jewelry, and she made things for me, and she made these unique, beautiful pieces. And she also had various art mediums. She wasn't someone who just painted. It had to have texture. She also liked to go out into nature, and she'd find a rock or a stick and she would decorate it and sparkle it up and just love to put things into a different, and she said the words beautify. I can't, that piece that she wrote, that's off the charts. I'm blown away, and she wanted us to have it here today. So I loved her creativity, and she was frustrated when she couldn't create, and we didn't have the space or the room. So when we moved to Fort Collins, we had to have a room that was going to be her room for her creativity, and she would go in there and just spend time putting things into form and doing that part of herself. So I have many, many, many favorite memories, wonderful memories of Davine, and I'm sure that everyone who has spent time with her also treasures those memories. My favorite memories of Davine include our traveling together. We were good travel companions. We loved to travel. We went to Hawaii on our honeymoon, October of 2019. We went to Maine in the fall. We went to Florida on the Melissa Etheridge cruise, even though she wasn't necessarily a cruiser, she went. The CSL conventions in Orange County and Denver, South Dakota, Wyoming, Big Sky Retreat in Montana, Arizona to meet my brother and sister, Ventura, and Southern California for her cousin's wedding. And also the many times we moved. It was quite the project, but we kept paring down, letting more stuff go. My favorite memory is the day that we got married. I won't get into the whole story. Minister in a microphone, forget about it. You could say this, but so we went to Las Vegas. We had Elton John tickets on September 6th, 2019. And I said, well, we could get married in Las Vegas. And she was like, yeah, we could do that. So we packed up. She got her prayer partner, Stacy Hilton, who's probably online as well. And we put together a service. We asked, what do we want to wear? And we created together these wonderful T-shirts with the two unicorns, right? And then on the back, it's called Liz and Davine, because we were known as the happily ever laughter love ministers. So, yeah, it was fantastic. We had 7 people and 30 stuffed animals. We started collecting animals, many unicorns. We had an elephant, a pig, a lemur, a giraffe, a flamingo, a pig. They were low maintenance pets, right? So, speaking of pets, Divine's real baby, probably her longest lasting relationship besides her mom and her brother, was with Zoe. Long-haired Chihuahua pug. And I met Zoe, and Zoe approved of me, so that was good. And Zoe also had told Davine that she was going to be okay because I was there, and Zoe was getting elder and was 15 and needed to be released from the body. So it was really tough. And what I know, and I know that when Davine took her last physical breath and she released herself to the other side of the veil, Zoe was there. Zoe was the first one greeting her, and that was followed by Chiki, her grandma, who she was very close to, her mom, Alyssa, who also passed in 2019 in January 6th, and Samuel, her dad. So I know that that's the truth. And speaking of family, I am so grateful to you, Robbie, her beloved brother. And Robbie, you were there for her. She couldn't handle anyone else being there. I wanted to be there when the diagnosis came in on December 15th. he was already planning on spending time with her and was flying in the next day. We texted a few times, and I'm like, I'm coming, and she said no in a text. Can't do this. And then I said, well, I'd really like to be there, and I won't just hold space. And she said no. And she said, I don't need the stress. And she said, this is goodbye. And that was the final piece that she gave to me on a text. And I was in shock. I was in shock and hurt. And then I was like, that's not divine. And that was the words. That wasn't divine. That was a woman who was told she had 2 weeks, perhaps. And so I needed to respect her. I wanted to respect her. She had her brother. Robbie was there and took care of her. And to be honest, you're such a gift. I don't know that how I would have been able to deal with her releasing her body and what that was like for you. So my heart to you, brother. I now have a brother, another brother, like no other. I know, bro. So, Dee is with us, and she knows. What's interesting is I fell in love with her on my TV set. Just real quick. Sure, Minister Quick. That's. I met her at Abigail's church. I had met her a couple times. In fact, she had called me in 2015 because we were on Match.com. And she was in the Bay and I was in Tahoe. And we talked, and I'm like, I'm not into having a long distance relationship. So that was the end of that. And on Christmas Day, you had a service at Center for Spiritual Living Peninsula. And went there because I didn't have to have a service where I was at. We had it 2 days prior. And Davine was there. And we talked in the food line. And then, where else are we going to talk is in the food. And she was wearing her cowboy boots and everything else. And I was like, I got curious that day. I was like, who is this redhead curly person? So I didn't even know how to spell her name, right? I went to Abigail's Facebook page and I'm like, where's that? Who is that? Oh, and so we became friends on Facebook. Well, one night when Tahoe, Truckee had so much snow, we canceled the next morning. I wake up and I'm like, I don't have to go back to sleep. I start scrolling. Okay, I'm stalking her on my phone. I'm on her page trying to find out who is this person. Now, she didn't put anything personal because, again, she wasn't a personal person to put that out there. All of a sudden, I find she's giving a talk, and I think it was in New Jersey. And I'm like, oh, all right. And I'm watching her give a talk, and I'm like, okay, I'm liking how she's delivering. Well, I find that she's got 12 more on Facebook, and I have a smart TV. So on my TV the next morning, I'm watching Divine Joy Young giving talks on my TV, and I texted her and said just that. And she's like, what? You're watching me on your TV? So I fell in love with her on the TV set. I would talk to the TV. I'm like, and we started dating, and all of a sudden we had a date in Sacramento, and there's more history, but we won't do all of that because, Abigail, I'm going to give you a turn, and we have others that would like to speak. So she also now, my smart TV, has connected to OneDrive. And it had been for some years. Whenever the TV's not on, it goes into, here's the OneDrive memories. So here's the thing. Divine is showing up on my TV screen for the last 6 years. I keep seeing her and me in all the different places. And it's like, if I'm ever in a relationship again, I don't know that I really want to have Divine showing up every single time on the TV. But it's okay. Dee's like, I'm still here, and I'm on your TV and in your heart. And I'm going to leave this up here so that she has, a little bit of us. So thank you so much. And Abigail, you're the next minister up. We got the Rev Robbie and Liz and Abigail. Thank you so much for everything.
Wonderful, wonderful. Reverend Liz, no, Reverend, I'm sorry. I know you. This is Reverend Abigail from the Seattle Center for Spiritual Living.
There was an ooh in the audience. Was that a good ooh or a bad ooh? So Davine and I were besties. And, you know, her legacy and my legacy are tied together. Many of you don't know, I walked into the San Jose Center for Spiritual Living in 2000 and fell in love with the center. And my first foundations class had Alyssa and Davine Young in my foundations class. And Davine and I saw each other from across the room, and you know her and you see me, and we're like instantaneous friends. And we called each other soul sisters. We called each other soul sisters. And it's hard to encapsulate somebody's life in like an hour or an hour and a half service. It's the weirdest thing that we do in these memorials. It's like, what's the most important thing to talk about, or what do I bring up, or what do I say? And it's really hard to figure that out. But I think I want to tell you a little bit about our dance together. And Davine is a dancer. And she danced through many people's lives and many communities. You probably have no idea how many people are out there on Zoom, in the Zoom universe, who are like, she was my teacher, and she officiated my wedding, and I was grieving, and she was next to me during that time. So she and I started at San Jose Center for Spiritual Living, and in that foundations class, we both decided we were going to be ministers. And she started the LGBT kind of campaign at San Jose, where we were doing the Pride March together. We made our own little banner and everything to make it happen. It was all spearheaded by her. And then I wanted to start a women's ministry, and she was right there next to me. And we started what is now known as Sister Spirit, that I've been doing this women's retreat for 16 years successfully. Yeah, and so she was there. And we founded the women's ministry at San Jose. So she was there to found the women's ministry, to found Sister Spirit. She became a practitioner the year before I did. She and Alyssa went through prac classes together, and we were following this journey together. It's kind of like we had this dance of coming together and apart and together and apart and together and apart over the last 22 years. And you know, she'd go off to Arizona and do her thing, and then we'd come back, and we wanted to do ministry. And I went through the last class of the Holmes Institute before I'll be from religious science, and she went through the last class of the International Church of Religious Science. So those two organizations merged as one, but they still had their separate ministerial school classes. So we were kind of in the last classes, and I became a minister just before she did, and I founded my center, which she helped me found, Center for Spiritual Living Peninsula. And then I hired her to be a minister there. So she's always been there in my life. When I got ordained, she would help plan the ordination. You know, it's just like one of those people that when I look back, I see her impact, and it's like she was always there. And what I love about her is everybody that she touched, she made feel special. And that's what I want to continue to do in my life, is to be like Davine. You know, Liz and I were praying this morning, and I was like, oh, the big D Davine. And then I was going to say the little d Davine, but I was like, it just doesn't fit her. So it was like the big D Davine and the other Davine are here with us. The infinite presence of everything is here with us. And then Divine Joy Young is here to spread her divine joy. And if I am to take something from her life, it is to be the most joyfully divine, authentic expression of love I can be. And I know that she saw that in all of you, and I also want to acknowledge the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont, because Davine went on this journey in ministry because she loved people so much. She was a revolutionary. She was, there in parades at the Women's March. She and I were there. She was there marching for people's rights. She's done all of these things in Black Lives Matter and in the LGBT community. But she really stood for the authentic expression of each and every human being. And she was that in every aspect. And the other thing that I love is like the joy that she is hasn't left. That's always going to be here with me, always. But she also loved the physical expression. It's like she loved being in the physical body. She loved to dance. She loved to smile. She loved to laugh. She loved to snark on people, for sure. She loved to have this physical, I want to say meat suit, but that's kind of not so charming. Physical beauty suit. And just enjoy the fullness of what it is. Just as much as touching that divine, whole place that is all about that spiritual, yummy, gummy goodness that we have as well. She matched that so perfectly well. So I would encourage you to love yourself today. Love that beauty that you are, because she really loved herself and was a representation of that. And I would encourage you to remember to smile and laugh and to dance a little. Okay, just dance a lot. You should all dance a lot. If you haven't danced recently, just like put on the tunes, get a little dance break going on. And dance. It's funny, my wife and I went to a Jill Scott concert one time in Oakland, and we were there. We were like in the back row. And I was looking at, there's like a big screen, because Jill Scott was like this tiny. And then on the big screen, there's Davine like dancing in the front row. And I was like, I love that. I ran up to her. I'm like, can I sit next to you? We were all dancing together. It was great. So there's so much about this amazing woman that is in my heart. And I could not be who I am without Davine being who she is. She made all the big things in my life. She was there, and she helped make them happen. So I am part of her legacy, and she is part of my legacy. And you're all part of her legacy. And the way to do that again is to love yourself and to remember to dance. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Reverend Abigail. Excellent, excellent. All right, is there anyone else in our audience here who would like to share something about Reverend Davine? Yes, Bill, do you want to come up here, or can I bring a microphone to you?
I think everybody could probably hear me.
Except for the people who are...
They can't see you or...
I hate to turn my back on everything. I had the distinct... there we go. Gotta be on. That helps. I had the distinct pleasure one day of taking Reverend Davine down to the hospital for treatment. And we had at one time talked about the difficulty of being spiritual, being alive spiritually, and being ill or having problems that seemed too much, just too much. And again, when we were driving, we had the chance again to talk about how difficult it is for some to have your faith when you're faced with such a thing as immediate death. At that time, the separate thing was we had missed the place to park a car, and so it was about a block away, and up to this time, I didn't know whether she could even walk into the building, and she said, "No, I'll walk to the other place," and I respected her grit, determination, and her loving presence. Thank you.
Reverend Davine. She was like me. We both like to laugh and sing and dance and just have a good time, and we like to wear bright colors. And I really miss her. She was a good friend to me. Hope she's doing good. I know she is. She's making everybody in heaven just laughing and smiling. Anybody want to say?
Okay, I promised myself I was not going to speak. However, I had the pleasure of picking her up in Palm Springs when she came here in July. A woman came over to my car and I said, "Your hair isn't red. I can't pick you up." So Davine came over. We went to Billy Reed's, which is my favorite place in Palm Springs. We sat there for a couple of hours. And somebody here asked me, "Well, what did you guys talk about?" I said, "We did talk. We just talked." She noticed that I don't wear a pair of earrings. And she said, "I thought something had run across the floor." She said, "No, you're like my mom. You guys don't know what a pair is." I go, "Thank you very much." We connected. She and I talked about, everyone's talked about the cultural thing that she wanted in this center. She asked me if we did Kwanzaa. You know that thing you guys, I said, yeah. Okay. She got ill. I moved forward. The thing I really, really wanted in this center was an African drummer. I picked up a partner from the center here. She found us an African drummer. These two people, one was the pianist that would do anything for my partner, crime, and the two wanted to perform, but they always performed separately. This was their opportunity. This sanctuary was filled, and I don't know where these people came from. I absolutely do not. We had the best time. And I told her, I said, "You had the vision. You asked myself and Beverly. We manifested your vision. We danced, we sang, we ate. We had a good time in here. We celebrated Kwanzaa. But it was the third day of Kwanzaa, which was going out into the community. So what did she do? She brought the community in here. She brought it in the house. I have always, as you said, liked color. When I met Robbie, he said, "Oh, I know who you are." And I'm going like, "Oh, God." I just met Abigail today, and I go, "Oh, God. What did she tell you?" Good stuff. Okay. I'm looking at her hair in my other life Because as I said, I don't know what a pair of earrings are. I used to wear my hair like that. And it has been every color. I haven't tried that one yet. I will. She brought so much joy in the 7 months in her physical body that the 7 years plus 7 years plus 7 more years are going to go on and live forever. And I know everybody that's here, everybody that's on Zoom will realize that. Okay, Betty, take the mic away. Thank you.
I want to take a moment. If someone else wants to share, you'll have time to do that. But I want to take a moment to just ask all of those of you who are ministers to please stand. I know there are ministers on our Zoom. Just stand so that we can recognize you. Thank you so much for being here and for being on Zoom as well. I kind of doubt that the people on Zoom stood up, but it's okay. They were having a good time before this started, so it probably is continuing. Does anyone else want to share? Oh.
Hi, my name is Afton, and I'm a friend of Liz, a fan of Liz's. We've done many workshops together and a lot of social things, and just wow. And then I met Davine. At Fort Collins, I was there visiting my great-great-nephew, who was only 2 pounds when he was born. Little tiny, tiny, tiny thing. He's 3 years old now and doing well. I want Davine to know that. I want Liz to know that. I don't write poetry. I never have. I consider it to be that I just take dictation. And hopefully when it comes, that I have paper and pencil right beside me. Because I don't remember it after it's gone. And last night, as I was getting in the shower, so out to the living room I went, grabbed a piece of paper and a pencil, and I was thinking, thank you, God. And now today I'm thinking, thank you, Davine. I think it's from her. Memories grow, and some do not. Some we cherish, and some we forgot. However, each memory builds a place in our heart for times like this, so we don't fall apart. Our heart is stronger for the love we've shared. Our tears appear because we cared. Nothing wasted, all in God's time. The road ahead is worth the climb. Memories grow even more precious when we see that those who loved live on within our hearts.
Anyone else? Oh, Reverend Carol. Yes.
Before Betty Ann knocks my shoulder off, she said, I have to get up and tell a story about Rev. And I don't know what story to tell that hasn't been told already, so I'm going to tell you a funny one, maybe. But if you're bothered by swear words, please put your hands here. So, you know, I know there are ministers here that will absolutely understand what I'm talking about. I know. You have to let it out after a while. So, you know, there's a lot of stress involved with being a minister. I don't care who you are or where you are. You take on everyone else's stress, and you go through it. And so I finally talked her into coming and having lunch in my kitchen table. And at my kitchen table, you just spill it all out. So we had such a great time just swearing like a sailor, and I had 2 sailor brothers, and letting out everything, and then recognizing that sometimes people frustrate us, but we love them anyway. We don't want them to be who we are, we want them to be themselves. Because the world, with everybody like you are, yourself, is boring. So that's my not too spiritual story about the Rev and I. Oh, by the way, I'm Reverend Carol.
Thank you, Reverend Carol. That's great. I want to let you all know that when the reason I'm standing here today is because Reverend Davine and I had a conversation one of the first times that she came into church, and I wanted to know what I could do to support her. I had been a retired minister, and I just wanted to know, how can I support your ministry? And she said, well, I don't know. There's nobody here in the church during the week. And I said, well, why don't I come in and work 9 to noon, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday? Would that help? Oh, yeah. So I started doing that. I brought my toys with me because the phone doesn't ring very often. So I had things to do, but I was here. We had a presence here. And when Reverend Davine, well, I told her that I didn't want her job. I don't want your job. I just want to support you. So I was happy to do the Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then she left. So, you know, I bless her, and I'm so glad that she's free from the physical body. But when she left, Neil Hayner, who was almost a reverend, nearly Reverend Neil, he graduates in June. He and I got together and decided that we would try to help organize things a little bit and get things back on track. And we have done that. We love the partnership. We love this community. I've been minister here before, so I knew the faces. And it was so wonderful to be able to step into Davine's shoes for a little bit and really bring things forward. So that's why I get to be here today. And I'm so thankful for her for challenging me and for giving me the opportunity to serve in this way. We're going to now have a song by our resident soloist, guitarist, and tech person of great amazement. I mean, he can do almost anything. Please welcome Adrian Madden.
I showed up late. My calendar said 12 o'clock. I guess that was the original one. I am here, and absolutely, I had to be here, and I almost thought about not playing the song, but I was like, this is Reverend Davine. I'm going to share my story because I'm here, and I have a microphone, and I didn't want to do it in the middle of all that because I wanted to end it with a song. I met Reverend Davine and worked with her every week, several days a week, for the 7 months. And she's an interesting person. I absolutely adore her. We didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things. And you know, the funny thing is that was okay. That was just fine. Because she would let me be in my place, and meet her in the middle from her place, and that was okay. She taught me that word. Who said it? Snark. Who was it who said that word? Snark. I'd never ever used that word before. She's my snark buddy. I mean, we would have a section of time every week before service and in the middle of the week when we'd meet for snarking. That's what we would do. We would sit there and we'd just snark for a little bit, and then we'd, get to business. And I miss her dearly. She is just a really cool lady. And kind of missing you. If you want to, show up a little bit every now and then, I wouldn't mind. She loved this song, and I had asked her when she first came if I should learn this song, and she said, "Oh, I love that song. I totally want you to learn that song," and I was never able to play it for her while she was here. Because I was learning it, and then she got sick. So, yeah, exactly. So I'm playing it for her again. This is the second time I'm playing it for her. In my eyes, in my mind, in my heart, in my soul, in my life, I have been searching for something, but you are my dream. You're perfect, you're golden, your light, your love. You're perfect, you're golden, you're my light, my love. When I breathe, when I swallow, caress I feel. When I listen, well, I hear the most beautiful music out of nowhere. You're perfect, you're golden, your life, your love. You're perfect, you're golden, you're my light and my love. Lie-di-di-di-di-di, lie-di-di-di-di, lie-di-di-di-di-dum. When I'm sad and dark, shallow and in doubt, when I'm trying my best to put one foot in front of the other, well, you're perfect, you're golden, you're light of my life, you're my love from forever, and your perfection, I'm perfect. So I'll keep looking at you to keep witnessing my perfection in you as me. Whoa, lie-di-di-di-di, lie-di-di-di-di, lie-di-di-di-di-dum. Lie-di-di-di-di, lie-di-di-di-di, lie-di-di-di-di-dum. You're always there, you never leave. You're holding me. You set me free. Guiding light and empathy. Your confidence to express in and as me. Whoa, you're perfect. You're golden. You're the light of my life. You're my love from forever. In your reflection, I'm perfect. So I'll keep looking at you to keep witnessing that I'm perfection. I'm golden. You're the light of my life. You're my love from forever. In your reflection, I'm perfect. So I'll keep looking at you to keep witnessing my perfection in you as me. You know, that's one of the things Reverend Davine taught me. She taught me that it's okay to see perfection in yourself. And that is probably one of the most important lessons I ever learned as a practitioner. Lie-di-di-di-di-di, lie-di-di-di-di, lie-di-di-di-di-dum. Lie-di-di-di-di-di, lie-di-di-di-di, lie-di-di-di-di-dum. You're perfect, golden light, my love. Perfect, golden light, my love. It's for you, Rev.
Thank you so much, Adrian. Okay. Now, as if that didn't bring on any waterworks, we have now a picture montage video that was created by Neil Hanner, who couldn't be here today. He's very sorry he can't be here. But his artwork is, and so we will be watching our video.
Love cover me, light any darkness. Love cover me right every wrong, calls me to see love over hatred, guide me to be faithful and strong. Love cover me, love cover me. Kindness wash over me, make me a symphony, play every note you can find. Make me reverberate, gently deactivate, slowly flow out of my mind. Find me a melody, dance and let my anthem be. Love cover me, light any darkness. Love cover me, right every wrong, cause me to see love over hatred, guide me to be faithful and strong. Love cover me, love cover me, love cover me, love cover me, love cover me. I will not be shaken, I will not be moved. Love cover me, may my heart awaken, tenderness be proved. Love cover me, love cover me, love. Love, 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 love. Love, I invite you to open up this heart of mine. Love, cover me.
I've watched that a couple of times, and I have waterworks every time. So I sat back there and I still cried. It's okay because we miss her, and that's good. So one of the things that I know that she would tell us, oh, by the way, we have a bookmark for you to commemorate Reverend Davine. It's on the back table there where the orchid is. And while you're back there picking up your bookmark, if you have not yet signed the guest book, we would love to have you do that. On the back of that bookmark, there is this poem that was sent to me by Reverend Liz. I just love it. I'd like the memory of me to be a happy one. I'd like to leave an afterglow of smiles when life is done. I'd like to leave an echo of whispering softly down the ways of happy times and laughing times and bright and shiny days. I'd like the tears of those who grieve to dry before the sun, of happy memories that when I leave and life is done. Yes. Let's take a moment to move into prayer. Infinite presence, that beautiful infinite presence that has been with us through this celebration. I know that that presence is blessing us now in this moment. I know that presence is blessing Davine Joy Young in this moment. I know that each one of us feels that deep and profound blessing and gratitude that is flowing forth from her to us, that flows forth constantly from the infinite presence that we call God. I know that we are blessed as we move through a time of grief, a time of remembering, and simply knowing this beautiful soul. So I give thanks for the fact that she is dancing free in the light of God. I give thanks for the fact that we are here to celebrate that dance, to celebrate that life. And so in this gratitude, I simply let it be released, and we can say together, and so it is. Oh, our earthly body serves us well and houses our soul, our God essence, while we are here on this earthly plane. But when it's time to let go of the physical body, we come into a new experience in a higher plane of life. And that body needs to be honored. And so today we honor her life, her memory, her body of work, her body of legacy. We honor her. Her life has made a difference in our lives now. And it's time to bid farewell and Godspeed, knowing that the spirit of our dear friend goes into a more glorious experience and shall continue in an upward journey into a more beautiful expression of eternity. The family has asked me to share this beautiful poem with you, and as I read a line, I will cue you like this, and you can say, "We remember her." In the rising of the sun and in its going down, in the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, in the opening buds and in the rebirth of spring, in the blueness of the sky and the warmth of summer, in the rustling of leaves and in the beauty of autumn, in the beginning of the year and when it ends, when we are weary and in need of strength, when we are lost and sick of heart, when we have joys and we yearn to share. So long as we live, she too does live, for she is always a part of us, and we remember her. Oh, I bless you with peace and blessings as you move forward into the rest of this day and the days ahead. And I also want to invite all of you to join us in our Carter Hall, Fellowship Hall, for a nice lunch that has been prepared just for you. Thank you for joining us.